Hello, boys and girls. Happy March. And March is Women's History Month. And I'm going to read you a story about one of the most amazing artists, Frida Kahlo. Frida Kahlo and Her Animalitos by Monica Brown. This is the story of a little girl named Frida who grew up to be one of the most famous painters of all time. Frida was special. This is also the story of 2 monkeys, a parrot, 3 dogs, woof woof, 2 turkeys, an eagle, a black cat, meow, and a fawn. They were Frida's pets, and they were very special too. Frida had a parrot named Bonito. Like her parrot, Frida was colorful. She liked to wear bold shades that celebrated indigenous Mexico and her own heritage. She lived in a house the color of a parrot's bright blue feather, La Casa Azul, where she grew up with her mom and dad. Frida had a pet fawn named Granizo. Like her fawn, Frida had watchful, beautiful eyes. When Frida closed her eyes, she remembered her life as a little girl. She was always with her father, a photographer, who taught her to look at the world through curious eyes. Frida had a cat with black, shiny fur, the same color as her long, dark hair. Like a cat, Frida was playful, but as a child, Frida couldn't always play. When Frida was 6, she got very sick. She was in bed for a long time, but little Frida didn't get sad or bored. Instead, she used her breath to make mist on her window, and then she drew a door with her finger. Frida used her big imagination and curious eyes to walk out that door with a magical friend, a little girl who danced and played like a kitten. Frida was independent like a cat. Frida's sickness left one of her legs different from the other, and children made fun of her. But she didn't care. She was not afraid to do things other girls didn't usually do. She wore overalls and boxed and wrestled. Frida had 2 spider monkeys. Like her monkeys, Frida could be mischievous, especially when she was a teenager. Frida, with her friends, was curious to learn all they could. Together they read and studied and argued and sometimes got in trouble. They rode ponies in the hallway. Frida had an eagle named Gertrudis. Like her eagle, Frida's imagination could fly high. When Frida was 18, she was in a terrible accident, and once again, she had to be in bed for many months. This time, Frida didn't create a magic friend. She created art. Frida's mother made her a special easel and hung a mirror over her canopy bed so Frida could paint. And boy, did she paint. And if those weren't enough pets, Frida had 2 turkeys and 3 dogs. Frida's turkeys were intelligent and sensitive, just like herself. Her dogs were warm and loving. When she was lonely or sad, she would wrap her arms around the dogs and they would comfort her. Frida's Animalitos were spirited and entertaining, just like Frida. When her 2 spider monkeys were being good, Frida would hold them like babies. When they were being mischievous, getting in trouble, they would steal socks and fruit and leap through windows so no one could catch them. Aww. Her parrot, named Bonito, liked to snuggle under the covers while Frida took naps and would do tricks at the dinner table for Frida and her friends and family. Frida's Animalitos played all day in the courtyard at La Casa Azul, the bright blue house on Londres Street. Her husband, Diego Rivera, even made the animals a pyramid to climb on so her pets could roam freely. Look at the structure he built for her. And Diego Rivera was a very famous artist as well. When Frida painted, her pets would keep her company, and Frida painted all the time, while the birds sang, the dogs barked, and the turkeys danced in the garden. Frida's animals were her children, her friends, and her inspiration. Frida painted when she was sick and hurting, and Frida painted when she was happy. She also painted when Diego was gone and she was sad, but Frida was never really alone. At La Casa Azul, the bright blue house on Laundry Street, she had her Animalitas and herself, and she painted both. And you see here is her wheelchair. She used a wheelchair for most of her life after that accident. Frida painted herself with Fulan Chang playing with ribbons. She painted herself with Bonito the parrot and Senor Zolotol the dog. She painted her black cat too, peeking over her shoulder. Frida painted herself with all the pets she loved so much, and even with butterflies and caterpillars, her paintings were magical. And today, if you visit La Casa Azul, just outside of Mexico City, you might hear the sound of a bird or see a black cat jump up from the pyramid that sits in the courtyard of the bright blue house on Laundry Street, where Frida and her Animalitos lived so many years ago. The end. Frida Kahlo died at the young age of 47. She was also very famous for painting herself, self-portraits, and she always accentuated her one eyebrow. Here is a photograph of her before she died. I hope you enjoyed Frida Kahlo and her Animalitos by Monica Brown. Happy Women's History Month. We'll be reading some more. Bye-bye, boys and girls.